Hey everyone, my name is Alejandro Aguilar, and I am one of the artists in the Bear Bandits group. And what I wanted to show today was just a quick way to make like panel cuts if you were to ever try to make like a sci-fi armor or like a prop that you wanted to have with clean geometry. So to start this, what I wanted to show was start with a cut. So I'll just press Control R on this cube when I have it selected in edit mode. Press that, and then once it's dragging between the edges, I'll just press right click to make it go back to the previous action. From here, I'm going to go to the modifier. So what the modifier is, you can tell your mesh to do a bunch of things. What we're going to do for this one is bevel. So as you can see, it's beveling, but it's not how we want it. So what we're going to do instead is come over here to the section of the modifier for the bevel, go down to limit method and change it to weight. So now anytime you add a weight to your lines, then they'll be, I'd say scanned by the modifier, and it'll say, okay, make bevel here. So um, in edit mode, while you're having your edges selected, press right click, and in this menu, come down to edge bevel weight, and you'll see a little arrow. Just drag it outwards, and you'll see a blue line come up. So there you go. Now you have your bevel. So we don't really see what's going on. And to get a better idea, I'm going to just turn on wireframe. So if I come up here to this like full circle, empty circle, it's called viewport overlays. Come down to geometry and click wireframe. It shows me my wireframe. So we have it at the bevel we want, but we need another segment. And I'll show you in a second why. So now we have this. We need to confirm our modifier. So I'm just going to come down to this drop down right here and hit apply. So there we go. Now the next part is going to be adding our crease. So to get to that, I'm going to add another modifier and we're going to choose solidify. So what solidify does is, say if you had like a flat plane, you can essentially make it a square or give it depth. But for this, we're going to make it so that it chooses the bevel or chooses the edge we want and push it inward or push it outward. So to start, I'm just going to grab this edge or these edges. I'm going to make sure I grab all of them that are surrounded. And then over here in this little green triangle, there's an area called Vertex Groups. I'm just going to make a plus sign. So I'm going to add a vertex group. And with the edges selected, I'm going to assign it to this blank group. We don't need to name it, but if you want to, feel free. So now that we did that, as you can see in the solidify modifier, there is a section for vertex group. So I did that. And now what happened is the face is inverted on itself because this is already a solid mesh. This only works, well, normally this only works with a flat plane. So what we're going to do is come down to normals and choose flip. So yeah, now everything's red, but this makes sense in the end, and I'll show you why. If we come over to this like double layered square, this is toggle X-ray. The shortcut is Alt-Z, and that's what I'm going to be using for the rest of this demonstration. So as you can see, now you can see through your square. What we need to do is make an indent like so. And if you just wiggle around this thickness modifier, you can see it pushes out or pushes in your box. So we're going to push inward, and we're just going to click on even thickness so we have a uniform cut inward. So that looks good. And I'm just going to hop out of edit mode, go back to object mode, and then I'm going to apply the modifier. So that's what we have. But when we go back to full view, not X-ray, we see that everything's inverted. This red means that your normals are showing the opposite way. So what we're just going to do is select the faces. I'm going to hit L on my key and select the square, and then press G to move it. And there you go. You have a duplicate because your solidify modifier was trying to make a face out of the edge that you selected. So we can just delete this. And there you go. Now you have a uniform crease cut. And you might be wondering, well, why would I need to do that? Why not just, you know, make a bevel right here with a line and then push this inward like that? Like I could get the same result. You can, but when you're going to be creating more complex objects, you will probably want to keep your bevels and cuts uniform. And to give you an example of what that could look like, let me just hide this and show you the other thing. So now what we have here is a thing I worked on, and all of this is using those modifiers I was talking about. So I didn't have to come in here and make bevels, insets, and everything. I just made the first cuts that I needed, and I used modifiers to get all of this detail. And you can do that with an entire object. You can do that with all the metal pieces that you have. And yeah, I mean, this is I thought this was really cool to show off. Hope you learned something. And that was it. All right. Bye, guys.